In this video, we'll talk about starting and building a radical hospitality program in your church, as well as building the team. The ministry for new Canadians at our church consists of 3 parts. As discussed in a previous video, Stage 1 consists of settlement classes and events to meet the needs of immigrants in our neighborhood to help them settle into life in Canada. These classes have little or no spiritual content and are designed for immigrants looking for friendship. The second stage on this pathway to Jesus is the Transitional programming, the ESL Bridges class. This class bridges the gap between settlement classes and events, Stage 1, and spiritual classes, Stage 3. It can be difficult for a newcomer to make the transition from an ESL class or farm trip or line dancing lesson to a spiritual conversation that could be found in an ESL Bible study or Alpha. The Bridges class helps to fill this gap. We believe God gave us the idea for the Bridges class to address the spiritual curiosity of immigrants. Those who come are not usually interested in becoming followers of Jesus, at least not yet, but they're curious about Christianity or about Jesus. From a Christian point of view, the Bridges class does not focus on evangelism, rather, it's a pre-evangelistic class. People from various faiths, including atheists, learn about the life and teaching of Jesus while studying English language and Canadian culture. Immigrants learn about the gospel in a gentle and respectful way. The third stage of this pathway to Jesus is the spiritual classes. It's for those who want to follow Jesus or are close to faith or new to faith. This is what churches are good at, though sometimes they need help with the ESL part. We invite students to participate in ESL Bible studies, a baptism class, Alpha, the church worship service, and life groups.
In the past 15 years, we've seen hundreds of our immigrant neighbors progress along a pathway towards Jesus, and dozens of those have been baptized. Many join church small groups, volunteer, bring their children to Sunday school classes, and attend worship services. In the last 7 years, we've seen that the model also works well in other communities across Canada, in churches of every size, from as small as 25, as large as 5,000, and everything in between. We encourage churches to start with a Stage 1 class. Many start with a conversation class because it's quite easy to do. It really only requires volunteers who are friendly, smile, and who listen. Churches select curriculum, find a few volunteers, plan for the first class, and start advertising. In the first few months, churches start to plan a party so we can meet the families of our immigrant students and extend friendship and hospitality to them as well. After 6 to 12 months, when the conversation class is working well, churches begin thinking about a Stage 2 class, the pre-evangelistic class for those who are curious about Jesus or the church or Christianity.
Building a team to do this ministry is, of course, absolutely essential. We're dependent upon the availability of volunteers in order to offer quality classes and events. Many in our churches are hesitant to approach their new Canadian neighbors. They're not sure what to say or how to respond if they don't understand an accent. An advantage of hosting classes at our church building is that the program allows us to work together as a team, connecting with our new Canadian neighbors. No volunteer has to do the work by themselves. There's constant support and encouragement as we work together. We look for volunteers who embrace our 3 values for intercultural ministry. We strive to be welcoming, respectful, and interactive. We're welcoming. Volunteers are kind, friendly, and smile a lot. Students can start a class on the first, 5th, or last day of the semester. We're respectful. Volunteers treat adult learners with dignity, honor, and respect, no matter what their faith background. And we're interactive. Classes are designed for students to talk and volunteers to listen.
We try to welcome all volunteers and find a place for them, though not everyone is suited for each part of the ministry. When someone wants to volunteer, I ask them about their interests. I tell them about the classes that we offer and highlight our biggest needs. I always try to help volunteers find the place that will bring them joy. Often the volunteer and I will take a few days to pray about options. When they choose a class, we suggest they observe the class for 2 or 3 weeks, sitting with another experienced volunteer to learn from them. One of our students was amazed that teachers from the classes want to be her friend. Our ESL classes are great places to meet immigrant neighbors and become friends. We would never limit our contacts to those who want to follow Jesus at Stage 3. One volunteer recently said to a student, "You know, if you don't follow Jesus, you'll still be my friend." We're happy serving people at stage 1, the friendship stage, while trusting the Holy Spirit to draw people to Himself in His own time.